Hello everyone, welcome back. So, this time we're going to be talking about the equations of motion, general plane motion. And we're going to be able to understand the rigid body kinetics of a body going under general plane motion, so it's rotation and translation at the same time. So let's jump into why you care. First off, we look at this soil compactor right here. It's obviously moving forward, and the wheels are spinning at the same time. So that front roller is experiencing both general plane motion because it's experiencing translation and rotation. However, we need to figure out the loads that this roller's shaft is experiencing. Otherwise, it's going to break. Well, these are sturdy tools. They're made to specs, but we didn't design that, so how do we know they did a good job? What we're going to have to do then is create a free body diagram. And we're going to have to connect that free body diagram to our equations of motion to solve for everything. And as a note, the big difference in some of these problems is going to be that we're going to be starting including friction in these problems. Now another thing you might see is a lawn roller, kind of like I'll say the poor man's roller from earlier. It's just a big heavy barrel that you fill with water to make your lawn more smooth. So in this case, the lawn roller is pushed forward with a force of 200 newtons when the handle is held at 45 degrees. We want to determine its translational acceleration, as well as the angular acceleration. And our question might be, well, does the total acceleration depend on the coefficient of static and kinetic friction? So is how fast this is moving forward dependent on the friction with the ground? Another one is with a impact dummy. So poor guy is in a car wreck, slams into a wall, and then suddenly smacking his head forward. Now, in that crash, it is rapidly decelerated. That's what we see right here. And he's going to feel that deceleration, as well as rotation about this point A because he moves from his hips because of the seatbelt. So how can we use this information to determine the forces exerted by the seatbelt on your body? Because we don't want the seatbelt to accidentally kill you. Well, these are all questions that we're going to be able to solve after we understand how general plane motion works. So let's jump right into it. First off, here is our blob, and it's got a bunch of forces acting on it, and some moments acting on it, even a weight. And it's going to cause both translation and rotation now. Translation and rotation. So all those forces and moments are going to cause it to begin to move, or just stop moving. So these first two are fairly simple, fairly familiar with. We've seen mass times acceleration this entire semester. And for a blob or for a gas, whatever it is, it's always the center of gravity that is being accelerated. Now this other one is not quite so familiar. We learned how to calculate the mass moment of inertia. And we did that so that we could then say, okay, force is to moment as mass is to mass moment of inertia, and acceleration is to angular acceleration, because that mass moment of inertia was telling us how difficult something is to rotate. So these are going to be our three kinetic equations for solving these general plane motion problems. Now, sometimes it might be convenient to write that moment equation about a point that is not the center of gravity. That is not the center of gravity. And in that case, this second term right here is going to be the sum of the moments of our mass moment of inertia times the angular acceleration and the mass times the acceleration of center of gravity around this point. Because if you think about it, before this force right here is acting through the centroid, so it doesn't cause a moment about that point. However, it would cause a moment around point B. This term stays the same. This term is now a new one that you will begin to see there. Okay, so that's all for this time. Thank you for listening, and next time we'll jump into how we can add friction into our problems. But the big thing here is just don't forget this third equation. It's a new one for us. And if you're doing a point different than the centroid, this is the equation is. Otherwise, it'll just be this one term. Have a great day. Bye.